Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Salem Nicole joining us here today. Excited to have her from Brandon, Florida. She's the CEO and owner and creator of the Fourth House Intuitive LLC. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks, Jill. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk to you. You're an intuitive and so much
I
more. You
am.
provide healing through this and do
Mhm.
readings. Let me have you introduce yourself to our listeners today.
Well, again, my name's Salem Nicole. I am owner and founder of Fourth House Intuitive, and I provide healing services through psychic readings, Reiki healing, and alchemy parties, which is regarding rituals and manifestations as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I was reading about you before and also the Reiki energy healing sessions. So much to you and what you can
Uh-huh.
provide. But I think it's important if we find out a little more about you to start, if that's okay with you. Tell us where
Sure.
you're from and what brought you here. This is exciting.
Well, I'm actually originally from Cincinnati, Ohio,
Okay.
and but I live here in Brandon, Florida now. So Florida's my home state now, and I'm super excited to be here. I've been here for about 4 or 5 years now, and I've just been able to flourish and blossom down here, right along with the sunshine and the palm trees. So it's been a great time.
Beautiful. So, when did you discover that you were an intuitive and had this type of talent? Could you take us back to, when you first discovered this?
Yeah, I was young when I started to realize that I was a little bit different than other kids or other people, and I used to get in trouble a lot because of it. And yeah, so it wasn't something that was always accepted in my community way back then. So I kind of had to hide it,
Hmm.
a little bit once my mom, she started to realize, like, you know what? Something, you have to just keep some things to yourself. We know that but like everybody's not. I just used to get picked on and bullied because
Mm.
of it.
Oh,
So I just kept it to myself. And I just, as the years went on, I've been able to be more of myself and create a business around it.
wow. And here you are today. So let me ask, what is it like to be an intuitive? How does it work? Can you shut it on, shut it off? Or do you walk around the grocery store and you're feeling everyone like, because you're extra sensitive? Is that how it is? Or maybe it's
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, I am. I'm an empath, so and an
That's the word.
intuitive as well. So yeah, I'm extra sensitive. I absorb energies like a sponge. And as far as shutting it on, shutting it off, sometimes,
All
I
right.
guess. Sometimes I don't have any control over it. It just happens, out of my control.
Oh.
So not really shut it on, shut it off. It's on all the time is what it seems like to me, but I do have those down times. Yeah.
All right. And also, just to confirm, so sometimes we get confused with a psychic and a medium. Could you share that? So, are you able to talk to people that have crossed over, as well as also look at people's futures?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, psychic medium, of course. I can help with past loved ones. I can also help with your past, present, or future, meaning like recent past. I also do birth chart analysis as well. So
Oh.
yeah, there's a wide range of things that I help people with so that way they can get more in tune with themselves because the more they understand themselves, the more they're able to understand the world around them as well, that they both go hand in hand with each other.
Got it. All right. Well, I know you mentioned there's several areas, like you mentioned love, wealth, career, past life, past loved ones, birth chart analysis, the Reiki energy healing, and alchemy sessions. So, did you want to
Mhm.
start off by focusing on the psychic readings and what those are and how they work?
Yeah.
What do
Well,
you
when
need
it
from
comes
someone?
to,
Like, what can they expect? Because they might be nervous. Like, oh my gosh, what are we saying to? Walk us through the process of a psychic reading, please.
well, with the process, I do called consultations up front to try
Hmm.
to try to get people comfortable with me as their psychic reader, psychic medium, however you want to address that. And then also to help them get centered and grounded themselves, because a lot of people do, are nervous the first time or haven't done it in a long time type of thing. So I try to put my clients at ease before starting going into that. So we do a consultation up front, and then also just to be able to get a better idea of what it is that they're looking for specifically, because love or career or finance, that's a whole wide range of things. Everybody is different depending on where they're at in life. So I like to sit down with my clients beforehand for free, just to, help them get used to me and get used to the process that, moving forward.
Beautiful. So how does it work? You could do this virtually anywhere around the world, or you do this in person?
Both. I
Okay.
do this virtually, and I also travel to my clients as well if they request in person. So I'll do that as well if it's requested, but mainly it's virtually because, well, it's so convenient.
Beautiful. So what do you need from the person when you sit down? Or you just need their permission, or like do you need birth date? Do you need anything? You could just sense it from them?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll get some general information from them, name, date of birth, depending on the psychic reading that they're looking into. I might ask them some general information regarding the person they're connected to as well, just so that way when I'm doing the reading, I know that I'm in the right spot, you know. Because sometimes when it comes to psychic readings, I can pick up on others
Other
that are
energy
in
in
their
the
aura
room.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I can pick up on their on others. So I want to know, try to get as specific as I can, so that way when the reading begins, I know that I'm talking about the right person that they intended to get a reading for.
Ooh, interesting. And
Mhm.
what do you know in a psychic reading? What are some of the things that you could address?
Well, like for instance, if it's regarding love, love is one of the hottest topics
Oh,
to
it's
get.
gotta be. Yes.
So when it comes to a love reading, in a lot of cases, it'll be about them. And
Mm-hmm.
also I want to find out about, what their goals are for
Yep.
regarding their relationship. Everybody's goals are different. I want to find out about, what their dreams are, what their expectations are within a relationship. And the same thing with the other person. It's just a good idea to get that, grounded information, that first contact type of information, so that way I know when I'm doing the reading, um, I'm being able to address those concerns that they're looking for specifically.
Got it. All right. And then you also mentioned you want to talk today about Reiki energy healing. What is
Hmm.
that for those that may not know of, what that is and
Yeah,
what that can do for someone?
sure. Reiki energy healing, that's actually got to do with your chakras. Your chakras, there are several chakras within the human body, all right?
Seven
And
main ones, right? But there's a whole bunch
saying
more.
seven, correct. There's a whole bunch more, but there's the seven main ones. So as long as we keep those energy spheres,
Yep.
um, cycling, rotating in the right direction, so that way they create alignment. There's a lot of things that you can become more capable or able to do. A lot of people deal with a lot of low energy, tired all the time. Some people deal with headaches, migraines, muscle spasms. Some people deal with all kinds of things, and a lot of it is tied to their chakras, is what they
Okay.
don't realize. So, being able to handle or being able to heal the chakras from the inside is going to help them spin more, rotate more, which is going to pump out a particular energy that you're going to be able to exude through your physical body, which means pains will go away, headaches will go away, stresses will go away. Yeah, you won't have to worry about taking all the over the counter stuff, the Tylenol, the pain pills, all that stuff that play on your liver, you know,
Yeah.
and can harm your liver over a long period of time. But just tapping into it on an energetic level and healing it that way is a lot safer, and it aligns your body as well. So that way you can do other stuff.
Wow. So chronic pain being one of them,
Hmm.
energy healing can help with. What
Yeah.
about someone like me? I have IBS, severe stomach issues, been to all the doctors, medical field. They don't know what's wrong. But every time you eat, no matter what you eat, you're going to bloat and be in distension and distended pain. And my whole life, and I'm sick of the doctors, to be honest with you. And I'm sick of
I
starving myself
understand.
on days that I can't. So someone who deals with a chronic illness like that, that doesn't know, I mean, is that something potentially could help with? I mean, Could that
Absolutely.
be
Yeah.
from like a past life or a childhood trauma that we're not
It
realizing?
could be. It could be because a lot of things come from our past. It can just be hereditary, right? It
Yeah,
could be, something. A lot of times it's hereditary, meaning it could be recent past
yeah.
or
And
past
then,
life. However, it
wow.
is connected to your chakra at the same time, though. So,
Okay.
that's something that I actually struggle with myself too, Jill. So I
Really?
understand where you're coming from with that. And so being able to, like I said, energize those chakras that may be
Mm-hmm.
spinning slower, and
Wow.
that's causing your digestive system not to work as properly, which then in turn, whatever you eat, you're going to be bloated, you're going to be feeling tired, weighed down, this and that. So it's all about attacking the roots of the situation. And then also, with something like that, adding certain things like prebiotics or probiotics, little things to help your digestive system work continuously. So that way you don't have to get as many Reiki energy healings. But again, I recommend them all the time because, well, they help with everything else, not just the situation that you're
Yeah.
getting corrected or trying to get help with, but also everything else falls into alignment too.
Interesting. Now, when you do these type of Reiki sessions, what's the process? How long does it take? And are does it work after one or do we need like six, seven, or it's different? It depends on everybody's body.
Well, the typical Reiki session is 4 consecutive sessions
Okay.
back to back. And it depends on the client on how they want to how they want to do that. If they want to do 15-minute session, 30
Okay.
minute session, hour session, it's totally up to them on how they feel they think they would want to move on. And then also we go through a consultation as well. So I get more information regarding the person to make sure that, which one may be the best fit.
Yeah.
There's definitely more information that's uncovered at that time as well. So I decide based off what they're telling me on if it's going to be 15, 30 minutes or an hour. And then again, it's something that you have to be consistently consecutive for appointments minimum. If it's going to be longer than that, then well, I'll let you know and we'll go from there.
Got it. Interesting. Really.
Mhm.
I mean, the work you're doing can help with so much, even childhood
Yeah,
traumas, right? Some people,
even
sometimes they're
childhood
stuck
traumas.
and you can't figure out
Correct.
what's going on. Can you share some
Correct.
of that insight?
Oh yeah. So when it
She's like,
comes
oh,
to
yeah.
childhood, yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I've been through some things too. So with childhood traumas, that can be I don't want to say a sticky situation, but it can be complicated. Let's put it that way. So first it's about diagnosing when did it start,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm,
then it's about finding out how long is this trauma this person's been dealing with it and how it's been affecting them in their everyday life. And once I get that information, then I apply it to what chakras, what form. I have formulas that I
mhm.
write out specifically for each individual, because Reiki is also based off of your previous health condition. Not everybody qualifies for Reiki. So
Yeah.
you do have to qualify for it. So once I go through my diagnosis process, as so to speak, then I'm
Mhm.
able to address those childhood traumas or dramas or even past life karmic dramas or traumas that we've carried on to this life, which may be hindering us now.
Interesting. Wow. And
Mm-hmm.
so physical pain, mental pain, anguish,
Mm-hmm.
even let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you this, I found out about Reiki about seven years ago. My mother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Unfortunately, she's passed now for 6 years. Um,
Oh, I'm
but I
sorry,
never heard
Jill.
of this. And then we're in New York, right? So she goes to Sloan Kettering in New York City, like a big hospital. You go to the website and it says, like a goosebumps, it says Reiki energy. I'm like, what is this? Unfortunately, she got too sick too quick to ever partake in that to see if it would at least help her pain. I'm not saying Reiki could cure you, but I know
Right.
a lot of cancer patients going through this type of pain, right? They benefit from this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And I can tell you that firsthand because I myself have dealt with breast cancer, but I beat it. So it's not a necessarily a cure, but it helps. So it's all about that early detection. You know,
Yeah.
the sooner you find out
Yeah.
about what's going on, the better. The
Yeah.
better your chances are of being able to fight it and to apply certain things that are natural, because the body itself has its own mechanisms of healing itself, right? And sometimes you just have to power it up, and that's what the chakras are for. So it's just about
Amazing.
tapping into them based off of what they're dealing with, and attacking the situation that way. Like I was saying, I have like certain formulas that I follow. So my process isn't like everybody else's.
Yeah.
Mine is, I tailor everything to the individual because, well, we're individuals. None of us is the same. We may have
Hmm.
similarities, but when it come down to the DNA and the molecular structure, that's completely different. So I try to address the healing aspects of things, and even the readings to everything pretty much towards the individual and what they're dealing with. But yeah, it definitely helps with, chronic pains. I suffer from chronic back pain. I was paralyzed from the waist down at one point in my
Wow.
life, confined to a wheelchair. And I'm a walking medical miracle. I can walk now. I'm doing things that doctors didn't even see
May
me
I,
doing,
do you mind sharing what happened?
Well, I had a tumor in my spinal canal that was 4.5 inches long, just growing over time.
Oh,
And I didn't know it was there, of course. I couldn't feel it or anything like that. But I started to experience some tingling in my legs to the point where one morning I literally went to bed,
oh,
woke up, couldn't get out the bed, legs gone, bottom half of my body gone.
oh my
My husband had
goodness.
to carry me out the house on his back to get me down the stairs to the hospital and all of that. But after going through such drama myself and still dealing with chronic back pains and things like that myself, I do Reiki on myself on a regular basis, so I know that it works because I'm not a person that likes to
Yeah.
take a lot of medications. I'm concerned about my liver functioning from, as I continue to get older, because as you get older, your body starts to shut down in certain particular ways. So I want to keep mine working. So yeah, I use Reiki all the time. Anytime that I'm experiencing back pain to the point where I can't move, and it happens,
Oh my
next thing you
gosh.
know, I'm doing Reiki for myself to get me
Wow.
through that time. Yeah.
I know you said you've overcome a lot. You didn't get into specific in your notes, but that's some serious health issues. My goodness.
Yeah, cancer as well, breast cancer, and I overcame that as well. And
Depression,
so,
heartbreak, have we all been? I mean,
yeah,
my
all of that,
goodness.
depression, heartbreak, the whole 9 yards. Exactly.
And by the way, at this time, I would love to just remind everyone how we can reach out to you. Could you share your website again and any form of contact
Sure.
before we continue?
Sure. I can be reached at ivhouseintuitive.com, which is a Roman numeral 4, fourthhouseintuitive.com, or you can call me at 888-339-3273, extension 804.
How'd you come up with your company name?
That's a good question. It was channeled, actually. It was
They
something that
told
came
you?
something
Like,
that came
this is
down
it.
to from the divine. Yep, yep, yep.
Wow.
Pretty much everything in the business was channeled. It was a lot of information that I gained is from the divine. A lot of
Hmm.
it, and that's how it is for a lot of people. They just don't realize it. A lot of
Yeah.
our thought processes, ideas, creative thought, all of that comes from the divine. That's you getting downloads saying, hey, you might want to do this.
Got it. All
Or
right.
I got an idea, that aha moment, just
Mm-hmm.
that was a download right there.
Wow. All right. Now, what is this alchemy that you're talking about? What is alchemy sessions? What does that even mean? I don't even know. Fill me in and our
Well,
listeners.
sure. Well, alchemy is basically using the tools, fire, water, earth, air, spirit, are normal, natural tools
Mm-hmm.
to to manifest what we want. And there's ways that you can go about doing that. Several ways. Some people do rituals by lighting a candle of a certain color on a certain day of the week, right? Some people write down intentions. Some people use herbs, crystals. Some people just use simple affirmations. Some people just use journaling. Everybody's different on how
Everyone.
they want to go about that. So those classes are about getting more information to figure out which way you want to use, which way you want to manifest. Some people are cookers, right? There's recipes that you can cook, right? To manifest money, and
Wow.
you can serve it to your family. That way everybody benefits. It's so many ways. Hmm.
Wow, this is interesting work you do. And it's fascinating. I'm so curious. You also talked about birth chart analysis. Tell me, so if you get someone's birth date, what happens next? What does your birth date tell about you? Is it the birth date and the day and the month and the time, or what do you need specifically?
Yes, all of those plus your city and your time of birth. Have to have the location and the time. The time is highly significant. Now, I
I gotta find
notice,
my birth certificate. I have it. Okay. I'm thinking.
uh-huh,
I
yeah.
think it's 1:30.
But I noticed that it's a lot of birth certificates that don't have the time, and that's all by design. All right.
Really?
But the time is the most significant part of the birth chart. So if the time is not listed on the birth chart, then it's kind of hard to do a birth chart
No.
analysis the regular way. Let me put it that way. I have
Oh,
my own way where I can still do a birth chart analysis and find out what's in your birth chart through a reading. Okay. So it's not always,
okay.
yeah, it's because there's plenty of systems out there, plenty of
Hmm.
websites that you can go out there that you can just type in your name, your date of birth, your where you were born at, what hospital, what
Yep.
time of birth. You can plug all of that in and your information will come up. But sometimes that's not available because these days, a lot of people don't have their time of birth anymore. Why? I don't know. But I know this is by design. So that's when I get some people that say, hey, I still can't get my birth chart. That's when I can do a reading to find
Oh,
out what's in your
I
birth
want.
chart.
Can you do a reading for me one day, like live on the air?
Yeah,
Or it's
I would
or it
love
takes or that takes
to.
too much out of you. I don't know if you could do that, like
No,
work and
that
talk and like I have questions. This is great.
we can do something like that. That'd be great, Jill, as long as you're open to it,
Oh,
because I cannot control what comes out of the cards, Jill. Okay.
exactly. As good, as
It comes
bad
out,
as
it comes. Yeah, if it comes out, it comes out. You know
I'm an
that.
open book. I would love to.
Oh well,
Please, maybe next time. And I
well,
was born
yeah,
at
that
1
take a lot
p.m.
of
I just
time.
checked 1 p.m. Okay, we'll talk more for sure. But let me also find out. We only have a few minutes left in the show, so I want to get to know you better still. I also was reading on the website earlier. You do something called past life regression. What is that?
Huh? Past life is where we look into what your past life was about. I know a lot of people bring depending on what your past life was about, it can affect you in the current life as
Okay.
well. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, for example, I use myself for an example. I can't swim. All right. And the reason why I can't swim is because, well, in a past life, I drowned. I drowned in a past life, which I didn't know that, which
Wow.
kind of put two and two together for me, letting me know that's why I have a fear of swimming. Like I'll go to the pool, I'll float, as long as I can hold on to something, I'm fine. But I didn't realize that I had a fear. Well, I knew I had a fear, but I didn't realize that it was a past life situation.
Wow.
Everybody else in my family can swim. It's just me.
Wow.
Hmm. So when I did a past life on myself, that's when I found out I drowned in a past life, which is why I have such a fear of swimming in this life.
Amazing. Amazing,
Hmm.
amazing. The work that you can
Hmm.
uncover at the fourth house
Hmm.
intuitive. All right.
Hmm.
Wow. Let's remind everyone how we can reach out to you. Are you on any social media pages as well?
I am. You can check out some general readings that are being done on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. There's Instagram as well, and you can just type in Fourth House
Fourth house.
Intuitive,
Yep.
and it'll pop
Roman
up on
numeral.
almost all of them. Roman numeral 4. You got it.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. Awesome. Salem Nicole. I love the name. I've been to Salem actually in Massachusetts. I love that time of year. That's a cool name. What does Salem even mean? I just know Salem, the city.
Well,
Is that part
I
of?
got it from I was named Salem, but it was inspired. Somebody gave me that name, and it was basically saying to give homage to the witches in Salem, Massachusetts. You know how they all went through such hard
Uh-huh.
times for
Yeah.
being a female in that era and being able to chart stars or being able to understand the zodiac or being able to go to the woods and
Yep.
make certain
Something's
potions and
gotta be
herbs. And
wrong.
they
Yep. Can't be true.
yeah,
Can't
and
be
they
right.
went
Let's
through so many
crucify them. Yep.
hardships. Yeah, yeah. So somebody gave me the name saying, you know what, you are a credit to those witches that
Aw,
went through that. So that's how it
beautiful.
came up to Salem,
Well,
Nicole. Yeah.
great way to end the show. Pleasure to have you here. And do you want to share a phone number as well before we go?
It's 888-339-3273, extension 804.
All right. Thank you so much. Looking forward to our next conversation. Thank you again.
Thank
This
you,
is
Jill.
exciting. Have a great day.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.